Okay, so here we are, our peeps. We are at the green table, and outside it is minus 42 Celsius, minus 43.6 Fahrenheit. So it's a long john type situation out there, enough to freeze the balls on a polar bear. But what we're going to do, while it's cold out there, we're going to create some warmth in the studio. And this is something which is essential in any studio. Candles, beautiful candles. They help create a mood, they create a comfort, and extra lighting is always good in the studio. Even if it's candlelight, you can use it. So I'll show you how to make essentially a candle holder, but it's going to be a cool one that you've seen before, I'm sure. If you've ever been to an Italian restaurant, so they sometimes have the candles in the wine bottles with the wax leaking down the side. It's romantic. It creates that warmth, that vibe in the restaurant. I love that idea. I think those look great, and you don't have to be limited to a wine bottle or an Italian restaurant for that matter. You can make them right in your own studio, and that's what we're going to do. So we'll start with a random bottle. These are the supplies you're going to need. Just a bottle, any kind of bottle. This one is a Red Stripe beer. If you haven't had it, it's the Jamaican equivalent of Budweiser, for what that's worth. Candles, of course, which you're going to need. I just have some cheap ski emergency candles. These are going to work fine. I use these for my candles. They burn just like any other one. Some protective coating. Now this, I'm not endorsing the brand in any way. This is just a standard sealant for decks, outdoor furniture, anything like that. It's water-based. It's a non-yellowing sort of protective coating to put on outdoor materials. It works great. I've used it for many different things. This is a semi-gloss. You can get a flat finish and you can get the high gloss. So a few different options, but there's many companies make these. They're widespread. And as well, I have some filler. Now this is for the bottle itself. This is just some sand, and it's to weigh down the bottle, because what we're doing is putting the candle inside the bottle, and this is going to act as the holder for the candle, the bottle itself. Eventually, the wax will come down, we'll coat this, and it'll be this nice, interesting sort of visceral candle holder. But with this said, as you've probably seen these in Italian restaurants, things like that, the wax doesn't really stick to this surface of glass. It tends to break off. I have another example here, which is a Red Stripe as well, that I started melting the wax on. And you can see it's a slow process, it's gradual. But this just flakes right off. You can see this. I mean, even this, it just falls right off. It's not on there because the surface is not porous. It's not going to hold the wax. We will resolve this, and that is what the coating is for. That's to seal everything in. So with this said, you should have fun. I mean, candles are great. They're going to create a nice mood. The flickering flame is hypnotic. I mean, we worship fire in so many ways, and it's really nice to have that. And if you can have a nice display for it, they really look great. I'll show you some of these other examples that I've worked on. Now this one it's a beautiful beer, by the way. It's a nice malt brown ale, very good. And this one, I had some wax, gave it a quick coat, and now there's new wax here. You can see how it's not as, I'm hoping you can see that. Should be able to see that. It's not quite as shiny as this matte stuff, and look how it just breaks off. You see that? But this stuff that's on there won't break off so easy because it's already coated. This one we're going to give a coat to, take it to the next level. Now, as with anything that you're doing, which is art related, you should have fun with it. Explore, take it to another level, take it to a place that works for you, that excites you. And what I started doing was using different colors on this one. So this, just a little mini Kahlua bottle, and you can kind of see, I'm even going for something thin and narrow to be able to hold the candle up. It doesn't take up too much real estate, and it just acts sort of as in the background, like a good candle should. So this Kahlua is a good example of that. It's narrow, but what I did was I started to mix different colors of wax. In this case, mimicking the label, have some red, some yellow, some of the white as well. This I just added wax to it. Had a red candle and poured some of the wax on to speed up the process. If you just try to do it with a candle burning out, it's going to take a long time. So you can definitely add to it, do it up. So this one's good to go. I already have sand inside of it to weigh it down. So that one's good. So that one's gonna get a coat of the Verithing, or the protective coating. So that's the next one. And here's another one in progress. So you can see, same thing, it's a long narrow one, so it doesn't take too much space. This one has a coat on here already. You see this wax doesn't come off. It's not coming off, it's sealed on. So it's protected. It's there's some new wax right here, which I'm gonna put on. The candle's still in there, you can see, but it doesn't matter. So that one's gonna get a coat. And this one, I've been working on for a while, and we're gonna take it to the next level. We're gonna bump it up a jack. So this is a rum bottle. But it's a really beautiful bottle. It's called Kraken. Good rum. I think I had one drink of it. It was decent enough. But this bottle is great. I mean, this label. I'm sincerely hoping you can see that. If not, I'll just get some more light on there. I mean, it has this great crack in here. It's like an old etching. Has the nice, you know, the clear writing. It's very much like a print. It looks like an Italian. It even says plate 94 on it. So a great bottle. So I got that bottle, started melting the candles on it, got it to this point. There's a few layers of the protective coating on it. This is all new wax on the side, so we're going to coat that up to protect it. But there's something I want to do to this. Like I said, take it to that next level. And I have a bit of rocks in here to hold it as a base. I mean, this is a heavy bottle anyway, but I'm going to add, I got myself some marbles. So these are blue marbles, you know, some green ones, whatnot, kind of like water. And I'm going to put them inside the bottle, and sort of behind the scenes, behind the candle wax and whatnot, it will have this kind of look of water to suit the crack. And I like that idea. That's me having fun with it. And creating sculptural objects, which is what these are, sculptural objects that enhance the living space as well. And they're fun to do, easy. But that's the trick. You want to get that wax to stick. The wax has to stick on the bottle. If not, it's just going to be a mess, and it's going to be a pain every time you try to run these things. So, as this is going, we can get ready to coat these ones up, which have various degrees of wax on them. The coating is going to save the day. So I'm going to try and do two things at once here. Ambidextrous. Oh, a little sticker. I got different shapes as well. I got little pellets. So those ones just go in like the marbles. But you can use anything. I mean, rocks, seashells, beads, anything, rocks. I mean, I have sand there. There's anything, but you definitely want to weigh down the bottle. It can be a fire hazard, I guess, if it's just a burning candle in a bottle. But this is a good way to do it. So as I'm getting this to the top, oh yeah, see, I don't know if you can see that in the camera. You should be able to. But it's starting to have that little blue background to it. With the water in there. I love that. So this Kraken bottle's obviously the one that I've been burning some candles in with all this wax pouring down the sides. And I want that to stay, and hence the coat. So, and I would recommend, if you get this stuff, I mean, there's so many different brands that you can get, and they're all adequate. Any kind of protective sealant, outdoor is probably the best because it's stronger. Try to get water-based if you can. That's the best way to go. I mean, it's going to stink up your place anyway, especially in a place like this where I can't really open the windows with the minus 40 weather. But you want to have the least amount of toxicity that you can. That's any studio habit. Anything you do in the studio, try to go that route. It's not always an option, but it's definitely one you should consider, for sure. Okay, so this one's pretty much there. I want to give it a space. There's just going to be candles that are going. That looks good. So these are all ready for the Verithing. So, just going to position these. Just give them a quick coat. It's nothing too strenuous. And this stuff sticks. And you want to try and keep it contained. It's fairly runny. It's going to be sort of a milky appearance to it, but it dries clear. In most cases, it's non-yellowing. So I'm giving these a good coat. I want that to get all inside of this wax here. Really seal it. Even the top. Okay, that one's good. Oh, and I just lost a nice piece too. I can get that back on. I'll try. Oh, see, that's a piece of wax that fell out, but I want it there, so I'm trying to stick it back on. Okay, now this one. Now, as you coat these, and these dry, this will be protected. This will seal right to the bottle, the wax. So any new candles you burn in it, you can actually pick that wax off if you've hit sort of a point where you don't want any more wax. Like maybe this point is pretty good for this one, so you can still see the background and the image of the Kraken. But there's that option as well. Or you can just keep coating it and make them into huge masses of wax. That would be cool. Some kind of big thing that takes up the whole table, or it becomes the table. I'll give this one a coat too. And this one's early. I mean, I'm probably going to put some different colors on this one. It's just an initial layer, just to get it started. And that's what it's all about, the layers. So we'll let these dry. 2 hours it takes for the stuff to set up nice. So you want to give it the full 2 hours, for sure. And that's what we'll do. We'll give it the 2 hours, we'll come back, I'll show you close-ups of it, and we'll see them in action with some candle action happening. So we'll be right back, peeps. So here we are 2 hours later. They are dry, not even sticky to the touch, and I've put some candles in there as well. So you can see how all of this is now basically on there. It's not going to come off. The more layers you put on of the protective coating, the more sealed this is going to be. So this is great because now I can move them around. They're not going to fall off. The wax is not going to, end up everywhere. And with this one, I'll add more layers as this one is going. Give it more coats, and it's definitely essential studio candles. This type of thing in the bottle. Here's the Kraken. The blue in it. See, even this wax right here on the side, that is pretty much on there. It's not coming off. So that's a good way to do it, and have fun with it. You can do all kinds of things. You can start to add a little bit of paint to some of this wax. You can use different colors. This one I added a bit of green blue to the protective coating as it was drying, just to hint at sort of some of that color in the bottle. And it doesn't have to be these type of bottles. You can use anything. You can use any type of vessel, old bottles, old pop bottles, anything that strikes your fancy. You could plant a candle in there and have, a sculptural piece, which also, illuminates the studio proceedings. So I'll go out here just working on this piece a touch with the candles, lighting the way. Thank you for coming. Thank you for viewing. Please subscribe. That definitely is good incentive for me to do more of these kind of wacky little arts and crafts videos. But thank you again, and have fun with this. Definitely a fun little thing to do with the bottles. And thank you again for viewing. Till next time.